later it's going to happen. You're going to drop while performing in front of people. You're not going to panic. You're not going to be negative. You're going to treat it as an opportunity, because it does happen, and more frequently than you might think. But don't be negative. Don't say anything like, well, if I was any good, why would I be performing in a dive like this for foul-smelling, ugly people like you? Nope, keep a positive attitude. And when you do drop, you can always say something funny like, whoops, almost dropped. Or you can use one of the magician's old lines, which is to have somebody name a card, any card, and they name a card, say the 4 of diamonds. You say, the 4 of diamonds changes to the 5 of hearts. That's a real old line. It usually gets a laugh. It gets more than a laugh when it happens to be the 5 of hearts that they say, which happens 1 out of 52 times. It's happened 5 or 6 times in my career. So the card falls. That's why you don't say the card changes before you turn the card over. You say the Queen of Spades. The Queen of Spades changes to the 9 of Spades. But we're not going to do it 52 times until we hit the correct card. But it will happen. When it does, treat it like the miracle that it is, because it's impossible. Now, speaking of magic, if you do any of the manipulation, now is a good time to use it. You can say, well, the Queen of Hearts has never been my favorite card anyway, which gets me to how forgiving the audience will be. They'll be forgiving for a drop, and say you do an XCM pickup move, they'll forgive you if you blow it once, but they're not going to forgive you if you blow it twice. So if you do a drop move and something bad happens, move on to something absolutely certain. Another magician's thing would be to change the cards. Just treat it as an opportunity. Make people distracted from the drop itself, and we're going to show you a lot of XCM ways to do it as well. But as far as other juggling things, you can contrive to pop a card off as you pick up the first drop card, and continue doing that for comedic effect. It's another real old juggling move. Just don't do any excessive hand motion. If you can make the card somehow pop off, while you're picking up the other card, it's even more funny. So you're trying to make it look like you're a klutz for just a few seconds, but then you pick it up and everything's good again. So keep your chin up when you drop. Of course, these have just been 1 card things, but it all works for several cards as well. I mean, just make the best of it. You could say, well, just name any card and reduce the number of cards that have been dropped, and then do the gag again. They say the 4 diamonds, it changes to the King of diamonds. You could do that with a whole bunch of cards, and you could even have them pick out the card. So you're immediately taking attention away from the drop and putting it onto some other effect or manipulation or something that just doesn't remind them that you dropped the card. You dropped the card. How could you? If you drop a bunch of cards, particularly on a hard surface, if you pick them up like this, you're grinding them against the floor. The floor has dust and filth on it. Better to scoop the cards up with 1 card. That means only this card has the chance to get scraped or get additional dust, and you can pay attention to it. You don't have to worry about all the other cards.
Hi, I'm Greg Irwin. I'd like to show you a few finger fitness exercises and warm-ups that will really help your extreme card manipulation. This will help your hands gain strength, dexterity, coordination, and limberness. First one I'd like to show you is a simple hand massage. You open one hand, the other hand comes here, clasp on both sides, squeeze up, follow all the way through your thumb, and then bring your hand around and then squeeze on the other side, just like this. What you want to do is just massage back and forth. It's just a simple hand massage to get your hands loosened up. The next one I would like to show you is a good way to limber up your fingers, flexing them. One hand like this, the other hand stationary. Just pull your hand up like this, your arm. Then on the other side. Now I'm showing you this kind of fast. When you want to do it, when you do it, hold for just a few seconds and then let up. Then try it one finger at a time. And on each one, I want you to hold for about 3 seconds. Okay, and then you just go down the other side like that. Another thing to do is using your wrist, split your fingers, and then use your wrist to get in between your fingers. Spread them apart. This is really good for developing flexibility. Just a couple seconds on each one. Another cool finger coordination trick, you might call it, is walking down your fingers. Remember the itsy bitsy spider? Your thumb walks on your first finger. Now walk down your fingers. First finger, second, third, fourth, third, second, first. 1, 2, 3, 4, 3, 2, 1. Another variation using your fingers like this. Put your fingers together, intersect them, and put the bottom on the top. The idea is to see if you can just stair step up like a ladder or back down. For you extreme card manipulators, one of the most important things is this flexibility. Splitting your fingers apart. Now, let's try and split one finger at a time. Your first finger, little finger, up and down. Now, between the two fingers in the middle and the outside. Up, down, middle, out. Now they're opposite to each other. And there's 3 different posts that you want to try to go through.
Oh yeah.
Here are some nuggets of wisdom only the pros know. If you're performing on stage doing a routine, oftentimes it will help out to remove 1, 2, or 3 cards from the deck. No one will know, and your manipulation will be that much easier. When you're not doing a move, it's best not to hold the deck. If you have to hold the deck, hold it with as few fingers contacting it as possible. Why? Let's say you're going to be doing a set in 5 minutes, and you're standing there and you're holding the deck. Well, a lot of bad things are happening. The deck itself is getting hot. Not good. You want a deck at room temperature or even a little cooler at best. And that will lead us to another little pro tip. But regardless, if you have to hold the deck, hold it with as little contact as possible. Best to leave it sitting somewhere where it can just be in the air and be cool, not get sweaty, not get oily. You can really mess up a routine. The deck is perfect, you know your routine is going to go good, but there's a delay, the sound system, something, and you're holding the deck. So don't hold an unboxed deck prior to doing a performance or at any time. It's just going to get hot. Now, a tip related to not getting the deck hot and warm is switching decks. And you don't want to do this blatantly, but there's probably no need to do it secretly either, like with a cold deck switch. But what'll happen, say you're doing a 1-minute routine, and you're doing all these flourishes and XCM moves, and it's all flowing together. The end of the routine, the deck isn't like it was at the beginning. It's hot. Maybe a card or two is sticky. Maybe a card is oiled. Now, there's a lot of natural ways to switch decks. You're done with the performance for one thing, so you could do a closer where you insert the deck into a box, put the deck into your pocket, and then immediately take out an identical deck in the box. You do the same thing without using a box. I very frequently will have a deck in my left coat pocket, and when I'm done with the first routine, or if I feel the deck is getting unruly, I will put the deck in my right coat pocket, do some byplay, just a couple seconds of patter or jokes or whatever. Another thing you do is just keep one card out and do some stuff with one card, and then you casually take the deck out of the other pocket. Nobody will ever know. And since you're not doing card tricks, you're not doing any subterfuge or trying to fool anybody, so no one will know. But don't be afraid to switch decks when the deck gets unruly. And I'll have 10 decks perfectly tuned for a show just in case, and if you're doing walk around, you have to have tons of decks, just plenty of decks ready, and you can just ring them in and nobody cares, nobody knows, particularly between tables. Great idea. You do a table, put the deck in your pocket, pull out the other deck, and just keep rotating decks like that, and you won't suffer from the problems of a hot, sticky, oily deck. One of the things that distinguishes XCM from all other forms of card handling is the number of moves that are performed and the pace at which they are performed. This necessitates routining, which is linking moves in nice, smooth, eye-pleasing ways. And what you want to do is avoid a repositioning of the deck unnecessarily. Now I'm going to give you some basic techniques of linking moves, and your goal is going to be to develop combos, which are 2 moves, runs and riffs, which are 3, 4, 5 moves, and finally routines, which can be as many as 20 or 30 moves in a minute. And it's that pace that necessitates smooth transitions. So, for example, a combo that occurs naturally would be a fan and a close. Now, there's no repositioning of the deck. It just happens naturally. The fan is in position for the close. Now, what are we going to do now as far as linking to the next move? Well, I could do something like put the deck in the other hand, or I could use the deck twirl that we've used to do so. if I was transitioning from hands to table, that same deck twirl allows a smooth transition to the next XCM move on the table. Same with a pickup. Now I'm back ready to do another series of moves. The Charlier Showcase illustrates the transition process because you've got the deck division, then you're in position for the cuts, and then you're in position for the close. You're also in position to go to another series of moves. A very basic technique to link moves is to go from dealing position to the move to dealing position to another move. A lot of moves start from basic XCM grip or just dealing position. So you can do a series of moves that starts from that position and ends in that position. And it's kind of intuitive, but that's why a deck twirl that gets you into XCM position or any move that ends in XCM position, grip or dealing grip, just the basic grip, means that you're ready for the next move and there's no needless repositioning. What you don't want to happen, and you see so many people doing it, and it makes them look like amateurs. They'll take their time to divide the deck and do too much squaring, and then just unnecessary pauses. The rhythm's not right. What you want is a nice flow of moves, and if you can use the transitional elements of deck twirls, there's a lot of different deck twirls, by the way, and they're all very nice and useful, but the one we taught you is great. You want to go from a cut to an arm spread. Just use that deck twirl to get there. So, moves that naturally flow together are great for combos. Everything went together, no repositioning. Moves that begin and end in your dealing position or XCM grip are great because you can go from one move to another all day long. That's why your two-handed cuts are easy to link together because they all begin and end in dealing position. And use those deck twirls, or at least the deck twirl that we taught you so far, to get from one place to the other. It's a good way to either get the deck from one hand to the other, on the table, off the table, and you'll discover and invent other deck twirls that seem to flow with your routine. So if you're doing some type of cut and it closes up and you're in this position, you'll figure out some way to make a smooth transition and take advantage of some type of motion of the deck that looks good, rather than pausing and repositioning the deck, in which case you'll be drowned out by a chorus of boos and people screaming for a refund, and it won't be nice.
This move is known as the hot shot cut, and what it is it's a fancy way to reveal either a selection or an ace or a joker, any particular card in the deck. Originally I came up with this in the early 70s, the 1970s. I used this for many, many years, and I'm very happy to say lots of other magicians have used this as well, including Paul Harris and David Blaine. I've seen it on TV many times. There's different ways of doing this. The most important thing is to somehow cut the deck so that the selected card ends up on the tip of the index finger. Let me show you the way I came up with it, the way it was originally published in the book called For Your Entertainment Pleasure, written by Stephen Mitch. Here we go. The way you hold the deck is very important. All 5 fingers cover all 4 sides of the deck. The little finger is at your inner end, the index finger or first finger is at the outer end in about the middle. The middle finger and the ring finger are on the right side from your point of view, and the thumb is at the left side. Now the first step is for the index finger to pull down about half of the deck. Then you're going to move that lower half of the deck to your left until you can reach up with your index finger and push it up right next to the thumb. At this point you can let go with your thumb. What happened is that lower half was pivoted around the little finger here, and now you're in this position. So the upper packet is held between the first finger and middle finger, and the lower packet is held between the little finger and the bottom of the first finger. This way your thumb is free, your thumb can go underneath the upper packet, and as you do that, the middle finger pivots a little bit, moves the upper packet a little bit sort of clockwise and to your left, until your thumb can come up on this side. Now you let go with the middle finger of the upper packet, and now you're holding the upper packet between the thumb and the first finger. Now this puts you in position to pivot and stretch until the 2 packets clear. That's very important. Once they clear, this is the original bottom packet. The bottom packet is going to go up over the bent index finger, and then it's going to rest very lightly on the tip of the index finger. That's important because the selected card is on the bottom of this packet, and very gently the index finger is going to push up on that bottom card, cause it to pivot around the middle finger like this until that angle is less than 90 degrees. It has to be less than 90 degrees. Then what happens is you let go with the index finger, and the middle finger takes over, goes right on the corner of that card and pushes upward. Without the deck, it looks just like this, but with a little bit of force. And what that does is that causes this card to spin out of the deck, and you can catch it with the other hand.
an interesting little flourish that looks like you're doing something brilliant by combining these two rather simple things. That we have that simple roll, now we can do a much more complex roll, which is rolling the card in the fingers.